Vagambula ve kinda bagitiguani no nonda buno lamaningo koviti ve kemuni na turanga na marama dorbo na ngone lewa na lalai na lamani tini kabane sana na buno lamaningo koviti na ngono binagongo na programo pakatokai tiko na Veivakararamaki kanda babdi na kina baga lebu kina komisna baga tauni obisa na kina soli na baga ndonui merma indambe na kena baga leslesi merma imbulongo di kenda na kena volutitu na mbasulawa ena nonda buno lamaningo koviti kanda babdi na kina baga lebu ni tigo batike kenda ngo na studio ni mai TV na marama director ni community policing senior superintendent of police Bareta Naisua mena mai mbulongo di kenda tiko kana tali do takatiko weekenda na itavi erto ngarabo tiko na tambana binagongo ena loma ni tamba daga bo bisa kasandra sule sartiko na ngonongo wana director ni community policing mena bagambula tiko weekenda ena ngona tali binagongo
Vinaka misanda veta ni valu. Ni bola vinaka ni mata vinaka mai ve ke menina turanga na marama ke menina lalai ni varonga tiko mai na programo ngo ni Veivakararamaki au vaka vinaka tiko ve retona ndauni walesi non reto soletiko ndona ngauna ngo me ke to vai vota kina na tambana ni lawa ena neto mai vai tavitaki kei tō tiko kina ena kena lalao taki tiko na programo na Veivakararamaki.
Ina lebu marama director sandra tege bu sartiko na matani taro e baro tege tiko weekenda ena yaka bibina kani singini ko kana tarongi tiko babalangi weekenda na sema tiko mai mera talengani ra bagai bota tiko kina na wekanda era sini torro tiko na bosa bagai tokei Madam Director, considering that you are leading the community policing department, can we know what is community policing?
Vinaka Mr. Davetanivalu, community policing simply means it is a partnership between the police and the community. This partnership is generated mainly to develop solutions and community problems, thereby enhance the quality of life in the community or neighborhood that we live in.
So the significance of community policing in the overall functioning of the police department and likewise the whole of Fiji, what is really there that for this department that to enable the department to play an important role in the police department?
The significant role of community policing is best described as it was an establishment, the establishment to activate a partnership between the police and the community, and it was seen as natural justice which every citizen deserves to be accorded without any discrimination, respect of tolerance of the religious languages, cultures and values of the people here in Fiji.
You must be facing really big challenges nowadays, Madam Director. We all been hearing about Ndovata community policing. Can you elaborate further on that, Madam Director?
Vinaka, Ndovata community policing, the term itself, Ndovata, in the Fijian context, simply means getting together or partnership. And then when we look into the acronym itself on Ndovata, it simply means drawing unity amongst various agencies through acceptance. The context of Ndovata itself is derived with 5 pillars. With these 5 pillars, it includes religion. It also includes community policing through sports and music, engagement of the youths, the religion, and Vanua as a whole.
Thank you very much, Madam Director. Can you please elaborate on your role as a director and how at headquarters level do you operate?
Thank you, Mr. Davetanivalu. The primary role of Director Community Policing, which I currently hold, is overseeing the administration and operations of the 85 community policing that is located widespread throughout Fiji. That includes the maritime and those community posts that are based on mainland. Those responsibilities has been given to me, which I play a role in ensuring the safety and security of members of the organization that is widespread throughout the 85 community policing posts that I have mentioned earlier. And we as a community policing unit advise the Commissioner of Police through our Chief Operation Officer on activities and engagements the community policing unit has with other stakeholders and members of the community as a whole.
Thank you very much, Madam Director. I believe there are divisional managers community policing. They have roles in their different locations. Can you please elaborate on their role?
For the position of the divisional manager community policings, we have the 5 divisions in the Fiji Police Force. We have the Central, we have the Southern, we have the Northern, the Eastern and the Western Division. With these allocations of the policing divisions, we have the heads of departments, which I can say, that is headed by the divisional manager community policing, which the various community posts allocated within the divisions comes under the responsibility and the supervision of these divisional community managers that are based within the communities. These community leaders within the divisions, they have the supervising roles because they have coordinators which are based within the policing districts, and they also have the cluster chiefs which looks after the clusters of community posts within the district, and then we also have the post officers who are directly in charge of a community post. These community posts are allocated within the vicinity of the policing district or the policing boundary of a district. So to speak, these community posts are not only located within the town boundary, but they are also located with the, within the rural settlement with the provisions of a community post building itself, the structures that has been provided by the Fiji Police Force, and to some extent the institutional quarters that has been provided to facilitate and accommodate the post officer and the members of community policing officers that work at the community post.
Thank you very much, Madam Director. Veke muninga na sarasar tikumain dana mai torondo na dengu leka e na programu ngo na Veivakararamaki ni mbera ni tomani talitiko na Veitalanongo. Tomani talitiko na programu na ngo na bakatoka tiko na Veivakararamaki na nondabulangi na marama SSP Bareta Naisua, Director ni Community Policing, and nonda tamadada obisa, and nonda bunaloman go koviti. Maramuni obisa, etiko nanduindu, there are difference in crime prevention committees and neighborhood watch zone. Can you please elaborate on the differences between these two departments?
The Crime Prevention Committee and the Neighbor Watch Zone. When we look into the differences of these two committees, for Neighborhood Watch Zone, it is normally formed within a group of 5 to 10 families. That will be a cluster of the neighborhoods consisting of 10 families, 10 houses that will be forming this neighborhood watch scheme zone that is formed. They will have a president, as to say, or a chairman, followed by, it's just like a structure of a committee where they will be solely responsible for the safety and security of the neighborhood, which comprises the 5 to 10 houses that is formed by the group or by the community that exists within that location. And then when we look into Crime Prevention Committee, more often we normally hear the word Crime Prevention Committee. It is a set of committee where the representatives are being represented from the Neighborhood Watch Zone. comes up to the district Crime Prevention Committee. I have mentioned earlier with the locations of the community post. At the community post level, the post officer that is looking after the community post will have to form a post central committee. This post central committee comprises the representatives from this neighborhood zone. They will formalize a committee. Maybe it only differs because it is in the neighborhood. It comprises of 5 to 10 houses, and the number of people that live within that community, it will differ. 5 to 10 houses, neighborhood zone A. And with the number of houses that is within the community or within the location, it will probably come up to 10 or more neighborhood committees, depending on the number of houses and the allocation of the residents. Let's say, if I've mentioned earlier, 5 to 10 houses. But when it comes to the Crime Prevention Committee, it is a representative from the neighborhood zone that will form a crime prevention committee in that particular district, as to speak.
Naka, Madam Director. Recently, we have been seeing the visitation of acting commissioner to religious leaders. Can you elaborate that, because people are watching and they've been seeing this visitation by the acting commissioner of police through the media? Can you please elaborate on that and how it is related to your department?
Thank you. I'll draw your attention when we look into community policing. As I've mentioned earlier, it is not only the work of the police to ensure the safety and security of the members of the community and the public out there, but there is a need, a partnership between the members of the community, stakeholders, and the police to work together to ensure that we provide a safe environment, a safe community for people to live in. A good question on the visitation of our acting commissioner of police. The acting commissioner of police, after taking over his role as the commissioner of police, he intended to conduct religious leaders' visitation in ensuring that the police, together with the church leaders, will be able to work together, to partner together, and be able to work out solutions to be able to draw the attention, particularly the members of the youth, who we normally see are the future leaders of tomorrow, in ensuring a spiritual intervention, not only to the police as a whole, but to the community as to speak. The acting commissioner of police has been visiting the church leaders, particularly Suva Nausori corridor. Most of the church leaders are based within Suva. He has intentionally intended to visit these church leaders to be able to assist the communities, the members of the Fiji Police Force as a whole, in a way to curb or to eliminate the rising criminal activities within the community and Fiji as a whole.
Thank you, Madam Director. I believe they are also meeting with NGOs and CSO. How important is that to the overall efforts of the community policing, and how do you plan on maintaining the momentum as we go on?
As I've mentioned earlier, the acting commissioner of police has visited the church leaders within our beloved Fiji. And his next intention was to meet the non-government organizations. When we look into the platform, Fiji Police Service Delivery, and looking into the other NGOs, they play a very important role as well in delivering better services for the members of the community out there. Last week, that was Thursday, the acting commissioner of police had awarded an invitation to the NGOs with an intention to meet, to greet, to know each other, and particularly to tag a face on that NGO. More often, we received phone calls This is from the Women Crisis Center. These various units and groups within the Fiji Women Crisis Center. So the Acting Commissioner of Police, in his intent to meet the members of the NGOs, particularly the directors, the chief executive officers, or in their absence, there were representatives from the NGOs to be able to meet, share ideas on how best the NGOs and the Fiji Police will partner in ensuring that we provide the best services that is needed by the community out there.
Thank you, Madam Director. I believe the next question will be very interesting as we all have questions in our mind concerning the youths. How do you effectively target youths and they are in the age category that has been identified for their involvement in crime?
Thank you, Mr. Davetanivalu. During the presentations of the Commissioner of Police, most of the target group that were targeted, the age ranged from 18 to 35 years, the age group that were normally involved with criminal activities within the community. Interesting to note, on the consultation with the NGOs last week, members of the NGOs were curious enough to question the Acting Commissioner of Police on how we tagged the age group, the vicinity of the community members that were currently involved with these criminal activities. We were able to identify that the age group where the victims were dominantly targeted by these perpetrators or these criminals, so to speak. They had the age group from 18 to 35. And when we look into the category of youth, we can always say at the age of 18 to 30, as so to speak. And when we look into those criminal activities, there were other age groups that were less. But the majority that concluded to the criminal activities, to the criminal landscape that has been recorded through our stats by the planning team of the organization, they identified that this age group, 18 to 35. So to say that these are normally the youths that are within the community that intend to commit crime against members of the community, we can also say that they are the target group, the age group, the very main target that we are trying to target to eliminate these criminal activities from occurring within the community.
Thank you very much, Madam Director. To all of you, we'll take a short break before we come back in our last segment of this program called the Veivakararamaki. We welcome you back to the last segment of this program called the Veivakararamaki, and we are glad that we have the Director of Community Policing here with us in the studio. Madam Director, what strategies are in place to rope in the Vanua-based institution in your fighting against crime?
Thank you. When we look into the 5 pillars of Duavata Community Policing, one of the pillars that I've mentioned was the Vanua. And when we look into the Vanua, the traditional structure that is already within the Vanua, which holds a significant role of respect and status, we have seen that when we rope in the Vanua, having these chiefs of the Vanua to take ownership of the Duavata community policing programs and taking ownership of how best we will be able to eliminate criminal activities within the community, we feel that roping in the Vanua, it will enable us to work closely with them, form a partnership, though the partnership is already there. The Vanua is such a structure which has traditional ties and traditional structure, as so to speak. Roping in the Vanua is something that the police will ponder on able to work together to eradicate or to eliminate criminal activities within the community.
Thank you, Director. Is there support from the Vanua in terms of crime prevention initiatives?
Vinaka, the Divisional Crime Prevention Committees have been formalized within the 5 divisions. With those 5 divisions, the intent is to rope in the Vanua. The chiefs of the community or the Vanua as a whole to be able to be holding on to, not only to hold on to that the titles of the chief titles that they have, but also to play a vital role in ensuring to provide a safe and a stable community for its people to live in.
Thank you, Madam Director. What are some of the challenges as far as the implementation of Ndovata and community support is concerned?
Some of the challenges that we still face after the introduction of Ndovata community policing way back in 2013 is the consistency of the police partnering with the stakeholders and the members of the community in trying to eliminate criminal activities within the community. As I've mentioned, consistency. In a few years ago, it came to a standstill with the changes of leadership. But as we speak, the Ndovata community policing is here to stay, and with a backbone as community policing, we'll be driving through this in the organization to the members of the community as a whole.
Thank you very much, Madam Director. Do people and members of the community need to get permission to set up their own neighborhood watch zones or crime prevention committees?
Vinaka, for that question, it is the intent of any individual that is living within the community to be safe in his or her home. The drive should come within. It does not take a police officer to visit the community and to tell the community, please, can we form a neighborhood watch zone or a crime prevention committee to enable us, members of the community and the police, to work together to be able to provide an environment free of criminal activities, an environment that will allow us to live securely in our own homes. It's not a question of trying to get permission. It is the willingness and the intention of the members of the community to form the neighborhood watch zone. And in that, they can always invite a police officer or a member of the organization to come in, dwell more into the neighborhood watch zone and its importance, and how well they will be able to partner and get this neighborhood or crime prevention committee work in the community that they live.
Thank you very much, Madam Director. As time is catching up with us, do you have anything else to highlight to us, the viewers listening, on what we can do as from outside to help your department in upholding the law of the land?
Thank you very much. I believe time is not in our favor. An advice to the members of the viewers, members of the community, the parents and our loved ones, the children, the youths. It's not a humble request, but something to take away this afternoon is police is not the sole person responsible for creating a safe and a stable community for the members of the community to live in. We seek the support, we seek the partnership of members of the community out there to be able to work with the police, giving information to the police, consult the police in anything or anything that may be happening or anything that they may have seen that may be acted in a suspicious manner that will allow the police to intervene and to be able to provide a safe and secure environment for the members of the community to live in. We simply mean we want to work together with the community out there.
Thank you very much, Senior Superintendent of Police, Bareta Naisua, who is the Director of Community Policing in our Fiji Police Force. To all viewers, thank you very much for your time. Thanking you for tuning in to this program of Vakatokai, the Veivakararamaki. Till our next time next week, stay blessed, stay safe, and take care of your family.